Cleopatra was the first of her Greek family, the Ptolemies, to speak Egyptian, a remarkable break from tradition that set her apart from her predecessors. For centuries her family had ruled Egypt from a distance, maintaining their Greek language and customs, rarely mingling with the people they governed. But Cleopatra chose a different path. Unlike her ancestors, she bridged the gap between ruler and people, using language as her first and most powerful tool of leadership. By speaking Egyptian fluently, she could connect directly with priests, officials, and commoners. No translators, no barriers, no misunderstandings. This move wasn't just symbolic, it was a calculated strategy that earned her the loyalty and respect of her subjects, making her seem both accessible and authoritative. Ancient sources claim she spoke at least 9 languages, including Greek, Egyptian, Hebrew, Aramaic, and even the tongues of neighboring kingdoms, making her a true diplomatic powerhouse. With this rare gift, Cleopatra could negotiate, charm, and outwit rivals in their own languages, impressing foreign envoys and forging alliances that others could only dream of. Her intelligence and communication skills set her apart from every Ptolemaic ruler before her, and made her a legend in her own time. Cleopatra wasn't just a queen by birth, but by sheer ability, vision, and the determination to unite her people. Her reign began with a simple but radical act, speaking to her people as one of them, not as a distant foreign ruler. This foundation of connection and understanding became her greatest strength, allowing her to inspire loyalty and unity in a diverse kingdom. Cleopatra's mastery of language was the first sign of a reign that would defy expectations and challenge the world's greatest powers. She built her legend not just on beauty or wealth but on intellect, strategy, and the courage to be different. Cleopatra became queen at 18, inheriting not just a throne but a kingdom teetering on the edge of chaos. The weight of Egypt's legacy fell suddenly on her young shoulders, and the world watched to see if she would rise to the challenge or be swept away by the tides of history. She was forced to share the throne with her 10-year-old brother Ptolemy III, a child easily manipulated by those who sought power for themselves. The palace was a nest of intrigue, where whispers and shadowed halls could decide the fate of empires. Advisors and courtiers circled like vultures, eager to control the boy king and sideline Cleopatra at every turn. She quickly learned that trust was dangerous and power was always at risk. Every alliance was fragile, every friendship a potential betrayal. Betrayed and outmaneuvered by her own advisors, Cleopatra was exiled from Alexandria, her reign seemingly over before it began. The city she loved was now forbidden, her enemies triumphant, but exile became her training ground. In the harsh desert she gathered loyal supporters, plotted her return, and learned the true meaning of resilience. Each setback became a lesson, each hardship a test of her will. She refused to surrender her birthright, vowing to reclaim what was hers no matter the cost. The lesson was clear: survival required cunning, patience, and the ability to see opportunity where others saw only danger. She forged alliances in secret, took bold risks, and learned to trust her instincts above all else. With Egypt in debt and Rome's influence growing ever stronger, Cleopatra set her sights on the greatest power in the Mediterranean. She understood that the fate of her kingdom depended on her ability to navigate the dangerous waters of international politics. She knew that only with Roman support could she reclaim her throne and secure Egypt's future. The stakes had never been higher. This was no ordinary gamble. It was a calculated move that would change Egypt's fate and echo through history. Cleopatra's exile forged her into a ruler who understood both the dangers and opportunities of power. She emerged wiser, more determined, and ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She would return not as a victim, but as a strategist, ready to fight for her crown and for the destiny of her people. Her next step was clear: win over Rome's most powerful man, and with him, the might of an empire. The stakes were nothing less than the future of Egypt, and Cleopatra was determined to shape it with her own hands. Cleopatra was ready to risk everything, her eyes fixed on the horizon, her mind set on victory. Cleopatra needed Julius Caesar's support, but Alexandria was locked down by her brother's forces. She devised a legendary plan, smuggling herself into Caesar's presence, hidden in a carpet. The surprise worked. Caesar was captivated by her daring and charisma. Cleopatra didn't beg for help. She presented herself as a bold equal, ready to rule. Her dramatic entrance was more than theater. It was a statement of power and intent. Caesar, impressed by her intelligence and courage, agreed to back her claim. This meeting changed everything. Caesar became her ally, and Egypt's fate shifted. Cleopatra's risk paid off, proving her mastery of both politics and spectacle. With Caesar's support, she was poised to reclaim her throne. One bold act had won her the world's most powerful ally. With Caesar's legions, Cleopatra crushed her brother's forces and became Egypt's sole ruler. Tradition demanded she marry her younger brother, but real power was hers alone. Her alliance with Caesar deepened, they became lovers, and she bore him a son, Caesarion. Their famous journey down the Nile was a public display of strength and unity. Cleopatra's rule was now backed by Rome, and her position seemed unassailable. In Rome, she dazzled senators and citizens alike, but her presence stirred both fascination and fear. She hoped Caesar would recognize Caesarion as his heir, uniting Egypt and Rome. But Caesar's assassination shattered those dreams, and left Cleopatra vulnerable once more. The political landscape shifted overnight, and Egypt's future was again uncertain. Cleopatra's survival would now depend on forging a new alliance. Her next move would shape the destiny of her kingdom. The game of power was far from over. After Caesar's death, Cleopatra needed a new protector, Mark Antony, Rome's powerful general. Summoned to Tarsus, she staged a breathtaking arrival, sailing up the river as the goddess Venus. Her golden barge, purple sails, and lavish display left Antony and the city in awe. Cleopatra's wit and intelligence captivated Antony, turning a political interrogation into a legendary romance. Their partnership was both passionate and strategic. She gained a Roman ally, he gained Egypt's wealth. Together they dreamed of a new Eastern empire ruling as equals from Alexandria. Their alliance produced 3 children and a decade of shared power, but their union also made them enemies of Rome's rising star, Octavian. Cleopatra's ability to command attention and loyalty was unmatched. With Antony, she reached the height of her influence, and set the stage for her greatest challenge. The world watched as East and West prepared for a final showdown. Cleopatra's legend is often reduced to her beauty, but the truth is far more compelling. Ancient coins show a strong, distinctive face. Her power lay in presence, not just looks. Writers like Plutarch praised her wit, charm, and intellect above all. Roman propaganda painted her as a seductress to justify Octavian's war, but her real weapon was her mind. She mastered politics, languages, and diplomacy, captivating leaders with conversation, not just allure. Cleopatra used her image strategically but never relied on beauty alone. Her charisma and intelligence shaped her legacy far more than any myth. To see her only as a temptress is to miss her true genius. Cleopatra's story is proof that real power comes from intellect and presence. Cleopatra ruled in a world where women were rarely allowed power, except in Egypt, where queens could be pharaohs. In most ancient societies, women were expected to remain in the background, but Egypt's unique traditions allowed a woman to ascend to the highest throne. She used this tradition to her advantage, presenting herself as the goddess Isis and embodying Egypt itself. By aligning herself with a powerful deity, Cleopatra claimed a divine right to rule, strengthening her position among her people. Roman rivals attacked her gender, calling her a sorceress and foreign temptress to undermine her authority. They spread rumors and painted her as a dangerous outsider, hoping to weaken her influence both at home and abroad. Cleopatra countered with strength, intelligence, and relentless political skill. She refused to be intimidated, using her wit and charisma to outmaneuver her enemies at every turn. She managed Egypt's economy, led armies, and negotiated with the world's most powerful men. Her leadership kept Egypt prosperous and independent, even as Rome's shadow grew ever larger. Balancing ruler, mother, and living goddess, she faced pressures few could imagine. Every decision was scrutinized and every mistake could be used against her, yet she carried the weight of her crown with grace. Her reign was a daily battle against prejudice and propaganda. She had to constantly prove her worth, not just as a monarch, but as a woman in a world dominated by men. Yet she endured, outsmarting rivals and inspiring loyalty in her people. Her charisma and vision united Egypt, and her courage inspired generations to come. Cleopatra's success was a testament to her resilience and brilliance. She became a symbol of power, intellect, and determination, admired even by her adversaries. She proved that a woman could not only survive but thrive in a man's world. Her reign shattered expectations and set a new standard for female leadership. Her legacy challenged the limits placed on women for centuries. Cleopatra's story became a beacon for those who dared to defy tradition and claim their own power. Cleopatra's rule was both a triumph and a revolution. She changed the course of history, leaving an indelible mark on the world. She redefined what it meant to be a leader, showing that true greatness knows no gender. Cleopatra and Antony's alliance threatened Octavian, leading to the fateful Battle of Actium. Defeated, they retreated to Alexandria as their world collapsed around them. Facing inevitable conquest, Cleopatra refused to be paraded as a trophy in Rome. She prepared for death on her own terms, determined to control her fate to the end. Antony, believing her dead, took his own life. Dying in her arms, their story ended in tragedy. Octavian captured Alexandria, but Cleopatra denied him his final victory. According to legend, she arranged her own death by asp bite, choosing dignity over humiliation. Her suicide marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and Egypt's independence. Octavian annexed Egypt, ending thousands of years of pharaonic rule. Cleopatra's final act was one of defiance and self-determination. She died as she lived, a queen, unbroken. Her story became legend the moment her life ended. The world would never forget her. Cleopatra's death was not the end. Her legend only grew. For over 2 millennia, she has fascinated historians, artists, and dreamers. Her life was a tapestry of power, love, ambition, and tragedy. She remains a symbol of intelligence, agency, and resilience. Each era reinvents her temptress, heroine, feminist icon. Cleopatra was never a pawn. She shaped her own destiny and changed history. Her story reminds us that women too have shaped the world's greatest dramas. Cleopatra's life is a gateway to the ancient world and a lesson in leadership. Her legend endures, inspiring us to look deeper than myth. The Queen of Egypt still reigns in our imagination.